Hello, America, FBI and CIA agents, and fellow cult members. Welcome to Crime and Culture Unfiltered. Now, on this show, I take you on a journey and give you my unfiltered view on how crime affects culture and culture affects crime. Before we start, let me say hello to everybody in the chat. First of all, hello to Tyrants Beware. Now, Tyrants Beware actually wrote and produced a song for me, an amazing song, a rock song, okay? And we're going to feature it at the end of the show. Make sure you stick around to check that out. Hello to U-Haul. Hello to Drew. How's your shorts clips doing, U-Haul? How's your shorts page doing? Actually, check out U-Haul's page. He's got some really interesting shorts. I think I've tried like 3 energy drinks so far on your page, by the way. Hello to Andrew Williams. Good evening. How are you? How did your pool tournament go? Let us know in the chat. Of course, Drew is here. My #1 mod. How are you? Thank you guys for showing up. This is going to be fun, guys. This is a new series, and actually, we have some auditors here tonight. Tyrants Beware. You're an auditor, right? You're going to like this. You're going to like this. Okay. Are you guys ready to get into this? So let me just give you a little bit of a pre-roll on tonight's show, all right? Tonight's theme for tonight's show is the laws of nature, okay? Rabbits cannot befriend lions in the jungle, okay? We know what happens when they do, right? Now, this episode is actually a great example to show what the show is about. It's about cultural conditioning. Cultural conditioning. And some of the factors of these crimes that we're going to be talking about, particularly in this episode: feminizing men, fat acceptance movement, social media, the acceptance of OnlyFans culture, are all outcomes of cultural conditioning. And in this particular murder case, without cultural conditioning and social media, this murder probably would never have happened. Probably would never have happened. This is a story about Melissa Turner and the murder of Matthew Trusler. It's a very interesting story. Now, Melissa Turner, we're going to take a deep dive into her, but I'm going to say this. If this girl was in a small town 40, 50, 60 years ago, this would have never happened. And we are going to introduce you to her. You're going to hear from her herself. But as we go on, I want you to keep that in mind. The cultural conditioning. Are we a part of creating these monsters? Just think about what I'm saying, okay? Now, I'm going to introduce you right now to the story, okay? Let me get you guys familiar with this case. Are you guys ready? Are you ready to dive in? All right, let me give you an intro.
Thorn Rose, I'm a cam model, I'm an artist, I love fitness.
Melissa Turner was a cosplay model who also produced her own adult films. She lived in Riverview, Florida with her boyfriend, Matthew Trusler.
A cosplay model is basically where you dress up as like your favorite characters.
So we can see where this is going, okay? All right, let me just roll this for a second. Pull up the picture of her. Now, this is her. This is Melissa. She looks like a normal girl. Little, into the cosplay world. Now, look, I want to make this very clear, all right? Everybody that does cosplay is not crazy or weird or, there's actually some extreme talent in the cosplay world, okay? The costumes that these people recreate characters, it takes a lot to do, right? But in this particular case, when we're looking at her, what are we actually looking at here? Now, cosplay, we'll see where it goes from there. This looks like a pretty normal couple to me. I digress.
Florida with her boyfriend, Matthew Trusler.
A cosplay model is basically where you dress up as like your favorite characters. I would do Elvira, Misty from Pokemon. I really loved the makeup and the props and the costuming.
Her life changed dramatically on October 18th, 2019, when she called police, telling them she found her boyfriend covered in blood, laying on the pool deck in their backyard.
Okay, so we see where this is going, right? We see where this is going. Now, pull up that clip real quick. Look at this house. This is Florida, all right? It's a nice house. She called the police because she found her boyfriend lying on the pool deck in their backyard, okay? Now, first of all, look at this. This is some talented stuff, okay? This is a cosplay event, right? Now, I see this in New York City every year. I don't know if it's once or twice a year, but it's on the west side. It's at the Javits Center usually. And let me tell you, when you see these people walking down the street, it's pretty impressive. Some of the stuff that these people can do. Look at this costume. That's her dressed up as some character, okay? And she said that she loved the props and the costuming. Now, some of these people in this world are actually professional, special effects people that went to school for this, that are doing films, movies. I'm just saying, right? Very good at what you did here, right? All right. I digress.
And the props and the costuming.
Her life changed dramatically on October 18th, 2019, when she called police, telling them she found her boyfriend covered in blood, laying on the pool deck in their backyard.
I was the prosecutor who went to the crime scene that day. I thought it was bizarre. There was the insinuation that he had done this to himself, and he had a stab wound in the back. He couldn't have done that to himself.
A stab wound in the back. First of all, let me say hello to some newcomers into the chat. Wayne is in the house. Hello, Wayne. We've got Byron. How are you? Thank you guys for coming by. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. He was cosplaying as a murder victim. Now, who are you talking about, Byron? Okay. Women don't typically kill strangers. Usually they know them. Oh, yeah. She knew him very well. Very well. This is a pretty crazy story, I have to say. This is an absolutely insane story. Okay, and like I said earlier, if there was not social media and we were not in modern times, I do not believe that this murder would have ever happened. And you'll see why as we move along this case. Okay.
In the back. He couldn't have done that to himself.
So this is the prosecutor, and she's saying that he had a stab wound in the back. So somebody stabbed him literally in the back with a knife. Stabbed him. Okay?
To himself. It was exceptional acting.
Fantastic actress. She wanted to be in movies.
Melissa says she was scared and
Wow. Fantastic actress. She wanted to be in movies. This is her ex-boyfriend talking, okay? Her ex-boyfriend, Cameron. She wanted to be in movies? Well, she's in one now. She created her own. See, this is where it starts to get weird. And here's the thing. A lot of cosplay people end up in this world of adult, sex, OnlyFans, the adult porn industry, okay? Because if you think about it, if you're an adult, right, and you literally live in a fantasy world, where does that lead, right? And if you love it that much, you want to make money from it, you want to profit from it, right? So if you think about it, if you're not a kid, if you're not a child, and you're in this world, it can very easily lead to the entire OnlyFans, the corn industry, that entire world. Because at some point, if you're doing this all day and you love it so much, you're going to want to make money, right? And then one thing leads to the next, and so on and so on. All right. Just a thought.
She wanted to be in movies.
Melissa says she was scared and confused. What began as a night of drinking ended as a homicide investigation.
Are you getting a look at this? Are you getting a look at this chick's face? I mean, first of all, it looks like she's got blood all over her face. There's blood in her hair dried up, right? Okay. She's got like defense wounds, scratches on her. Look at her nose. Look at her nose. Like this is, something, and I found this very interesting. Anybody else feel, hey, Cliff Williams is in the chat. Hello, Cliff. Welcome. Anybody else feel like she looks crazy? Like, this is the strangest picture. Like if you just were involved in something, whether you did it or not, right? This face to me just looks fake. Even the side angle. It looks like she's like faking like an expression. Is it me? Or do you guys think the same? Very strange. Very strange. Very strange picture here.
Melissa initially told investigators she didn't remember much, but later on she said she did remember an argument with her boyfriend that turned physical. A few hours after—
Okay, first you didn't remember much. You didn't remember much. Now you remember an argument that turned physical? How do you not remember that? Okay, so hold on. Let's think about this for a second. Now it's getting good, okay? Hold on a second here. So you told the police that you didn't remember much. Now you remember an argument? Well, let's do the math here. You've got blood all over your face, scratches all over your face, your hair has dried blood in it, and you don't remember an argument? This is where, and you're going to see, okay, why we are in such a state of emergency in society, okay? And why OnlyFans and all of these, apps and every other thing, I mean, why we're in the state that we're in, all right? Because women have literally lost their minds. Having the ability to take an average person like this and to be able to turn yourself into a model, into a movie star without having to be in movies, you can be whatever you want to be now, right? Catfish, whatever. We never know what we're looking at. And the scary thing is that, hey, everybody meets on dating apps today. I mean, come on. I mean, we're of modern times, right? Everybody meets on dating apps. Nobody meets any other way. Unless you come from, an elite family and they're setting you up with people, or you're in your church or something. But most people meet on dating apps. Period. That's it. We are not in 1990. You know what I'm saying? All right. I digress.
Said she did remember an argument with her boyfriend that turned physical. A few hours after Melissa called police, she was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. And 2 years after Matthew Trusler—
Look at this. This looks like a really nice kid. Seriously. I mean, he did. Look at this and look at this. Look at this and look at this. I mean, who's who and what's what here? Brandon Mitchell is in the house. Hello, Brandon. My auditors are all here. I love it. My auditors are all here. Okay. Loving this tonight. This is for you guys. Okay. I digress. I mean, this kid looks, first of all, he doesn't even go with her. When you look at him, does he look like somebody that would be dating a cosplay girl? Not to me. All right.
And 2 years after Matthew Trusler was found dead on his patio, his fiancée, Melissa Turner, went on trial for murder.
Now that's her here. This is her now, or whenever it was, going to her trial, okay? I mean, these two don't even really look like that. I don't know what's going on. And fiance, let's not forget this. Somehow they were engaged, okay? We'll see where this goes. She looks like a whole different person.
Fiancée Melissa Turner went on trial for murder.
You said 4:33 a.m. So effing die, right?
Wow. Okay, so this is a clip of her on trial. This is the prosecutor saying, you said at 4:33 a.m., so die. Now, we're going to hear these tapes later. Okay, coming up. She looks... Boy, you know, it's funny. You know, guys... Hello, Sean. Sean is in the chat. Hello, Sean. Welcome. Okay, you know, when you see girls like this, right, the scary thing is that you hate to judge a book by its cover, right? But when you put people on the witness stand and they're sitting there for a while, right, your body language, the way you present yourself, all of these things matter. Are you faking it? Are you, you know, crazy? She looks insane to me. I mean, if I was in a situation like this, okay, and she's claiming to have not done anything, okay, she sure as heck doesn't look like upset. You get me? I mean, I don't even know how somebody would act sitting there like that, how you would look at every moment. I can't imagine it would be that, right? She looks insane. And she looks like she has a serious attitude problem.
Yeah. So effing die, right?
No, I have no recollection of that. I explained my side and why I did what I did.
You're crying right now. Is that what's happening? Are you crying right now?
Okay, hold on a second. How phony was that? How phony. Look at these faces she's making. I mean, I could literally do it. I explained myself. I explained. Really? Does anybody believe that? Does anybody believe that face? Seriously. Let's think about this. Somebody's son is dead right now. Okay? And she has something to do with it. She has something to do with it. Now, we are going to hear a lot more from her. You're going to hear her tell her side. We're going to hear her later on. I digress. All right. I mean, this woman is nuts. She's totally nuts. Let's look at that one more time. I just have to see it one more time.
I have no recollection of that. I explained my side and why I did what I did.
You're crying right now. Is that what's happening? Are you crying right now?
All right. Okay, so now that you've got an idea of what the case is actually about, right? Now we're going to get into who is Melissa. We're going to go deeper. We're going to take a deep dive on who she actually is, how she got into this world of cosplay, and how she dragged this poor kid into her life. You ready? Let's take a look at who is Melissa Turner.
Melissa Turner was finally feeling comfortable in her own skin. She was looking and feeling fabulous. She found a way to be completely herself. She was able to live a life full of cosplay and make-believe, and she was able to make money from it.
Hold on a second. Okay. Look, this show is called Crime and Culture Unfiltered because I am unfiltered. Okay, I'm not here to acquiesce. Oh, this point. No. Okay, no. Okay, explain something to me. Explain to me how you find yourself playing make believe. Can you explain that to me? So I found myself because I'm dressing up as other people. I'm playing make believe as if I'm 9 years old, and that means I found myself. Now, like I said, I have nothing against cosplay. I think it's actually pretty cool. Okay, there's some real talented people in here, but I'm not gonna get dressed up into a costume from Pokemon. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? And say, oh, I found myself dressing in these costumes. No, you may have found a creative side. You may have found a passion that you have, but it took you to find cosplay to find who you are as a person? Now, something is mentally wrong with somebody that needs to find themselves dressing up like a child in a costume as a make-believe character, okay? Just keep that in mind.
She was looking and feeling fabulous. She found a way to be completely herself. She was able to live a life full of cosplay and make-believe, and she was able to make money from it. After years of feeling insecure and unloved, she finally grew the confidence to live the life she's always wanted.
Grew the confidence. She grew the confidence to live the life she's always wanted. Siege D is in the chat. Hello to Mr. Siege D. Welcome. Confidence. This is how you find confidence. Okay, I digress.
After years of feeling insecure and unloved, she finally grew the confidence to live the life she's always wanted. What would eventually happen?
My God, look at this girl. Does she look evil or what? You know, people. I mean, you know how sometimes you can just look at somebody and be like, "Wow, something's wrong with that person." Actually, there's, this series is a series of lessons. Okay. Because let's face it, right? And I'm going to go on a little rant here just for a second. We've seen and heard these stories over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? Oxygen Network, okay? A&E, Lifetime, all right? The news. They exist for a reason, okay? The channels that show all of these stories, and there are literally thousands of them, they exist for a reason because the same types of things, different scenarios, different situations, but the same types of things happen over and over and over and over and over again. How? It's the same story over and over and over again, played out a little differently. Right? How is it that we're here? And now with social media, it's gotten even worse. It's gotten even worse, right? So the question too is this. When do we have to take responsibility for our actions? When do we have to start becoming more aware? Okay? It's just like the state that we're in with the entire country with politics, right? Well, you voted these people in. What did you expect? Right? Just something to think about. I digress.
And to cause her to lose everything. Melissa grew up in Tampa Bay, Florida, where she had a loving family and a good upbringing. Her biggest struggle growing up was her weight. As a teen, she had trouble keeping her weight off, and this greatly affected her self-confidence.
Okay. So here we have the beginning. This is the beginning of the problem here, okay? She was overweight, she was insecure, and this is why they're saying that cosplay, okay, when she discovered cosplay, she discovered herself. She found who she was. Okay, now look, being overweight as a child living home, she's obviously a teenager here, so it's, parents can't really control that, but where's your family support? They just said that she grew up, from a loving family, right? So obviously she has a problem and she doesn't feel good about herself. Look, if you're overweight or whatever and you're happy with your body, fine. But this girl was not. She was not. She's saying that she found cosplay, and by doing so, she found herself. I digress.
As a teen, she had trouble keeping her weight off, and this greatly affected her self-confidence. For Melissa, one of her favorite pastimes was cosplay, where people dress up as their favorite fictional characters. The creativity and skills of some cosplayers is actually quite impressive, from their handmade costumes to the hours dedicated to replicate these characters' mannerisms so precisely. Unfortunately, a lot of the female characters in cosplay don't favor a heavier set woman, and if you aren't confident in your body, it could be difficult to participate. By the time she graduated college,
Now, hold on a second. Let's just bring this back. Take a look at this. This is Hollywood. This is Hollywood, right? You're looking at Hollywood. You're looking at Hollywood movies. You're looking at Wonder Woman. You're looking at, Snow White. You're looking at all of these characters that Hollywood created, okay? It's a fantasy world. It's a fantasy world. It's okay to be in a fantasy world for a minute, but I mean, how do you find yourself in a costume? I don't understand that. How do you find yourself in a costume? Okay? It's like people running around saying that, oh, all these piercings and all these things and whatever. If you like that, you like that. Great. Go ahead and be it. But finding yourself starts inside, not out. All right? Expressing yourself, that's different. But finding yourself, being confident, this is where it all goes wrong. Andrew Williams, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Andrew Williams says, I'm just a poor girl. Nobody loves me. She's just a poor girl from a poor family sharing her life from this monstrosity. Where is her family? Where is her family? It's always interesting when you find out about the families of these people that kill, murder in cold blood. Well, we'll see, right? I digress. Thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. Love you.
Be difficult to participate. By the time she graduated college, she had had enough of feeling this way and decided to make some major changes to her lifestyle. In about 2 years, she went from 250 pounds to about 150 pounds. She lost one.
Now that is a major accomplishment. Okay, I'm going to give it to her here. All right. I mean, seriously. I mean, to lose that amount of weight, that's incredible. Okay, that's incredible. That takes a lot of discipline and a lot of work, dedication, and I'm going to give it to her. I'm going to give it to her.
To about 150 pounds. She lost 100 pounds and gained a massive amount of confidence. She started posting anonymous, scandalous photos of her body online and was...
This is where it all goes to hell for me, okay? I understand that if you lose a bunch of weight and you didn't feel good when you were overweight, okay? And now you lost weight, you feel better. Of course. Now that's confidence, okay? That's confidence. 100%. But can you explain to me right now why in our society that the minute you lose weight, you have to take off your clothes? Okay? Explain this to me. Take a look at these pictures of her. So you lost weight and now you're posting scandalous. Who the heck would you go to a brunch with your parents like this? Would you go out to meet your cousins? Would you even go on a first date looking like this? So you go from this other girl that we saw, right, to this? Right away, got to take off the clothes. You lost me already. You're dead on arrival. It's over, okay? It means you have absolutely no respect for yourself, okay? It's only about you competing with other girls that you felt that you couldn't compete with before. And your whole cosplay nonsense is because you really want to be a thot, a slut. That's what it is, okay? You want to be running around with no clothes on looking like Wonder Woman or whatever it is, okay? But meanwhile, the crazy thing is that these costumes, these characters, they're not dressed like this. So, but she is. The minute she lost the weight, this is what she did. Pretty crazy.
And was receiving positive feedback. She finally felt ready to date seriously and take pride in herself. In 2000...
Look at her shirt. It says sins. Look at her. Look at the evil smirk on this chick's face. God almighty. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Hello to Major. Welcome, 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 welcome. Oh my gosh, it's 999. MD, you know that I call you 999, right? You have a nickname. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, I digress.
13, Melissa met a man who became her first real boyfriend. Things were going well. Melissa was...
You see what I'm saying? Okay, fine. If you're in a costume and you're doing stuff, great. wonderful. But she's not just doing this like for like a photo shoot or something. She's doing corn. You'll see. You'll see. And she met her first boyfriend, okay? And then go straight to this.
Melissa was loving herself, her new boyfriend, and she was finally confident enough to start participating in cosplay.
And there we have it. There we have it. There we have it. This is what it's all about. Okay? This is what it's all about. It's about a movie scene. It's about her becoming someone else. Okay? That's what it's about. It's about her not having to work on the inner self because she works so hard on the outer self, but really, this is what she's about. This is all she cares about, right? Major says makes sense. 999, high-ranking demon. She's demonic, right? Right? Demonic. U-Haul. It's all about the Insta. Exactly. Again, I'll say it again. I said it at the beginning of the show. My theory is that this murder would have never happened if we were not in modern times, okay? If social media did not exist, neither would this. Neither would this. Cultural conditioning. Cultural conditioning. Okay? It gets better.
Display. She eventually took her new hobby even further and merged it into a source of income.
Here we go. She took her new hobby even further and merged it into a source of income. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about, people. You know, this takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, okay? A lot goes into actually even this, creating these costumes. This is from that movie. You know, a lot goes into this. And to be able to do photo shoots and all of this stuff, right? It's passion. It takes a lot. You're putting a lot of hours into figuring out how to become all these characters. So eventually, like I said earlier, you're going to want to monetize from it, right? If you're that passionate about it. Here we go.
Melissa met a woman who introduced her to the online entertainment world, where adult content could equal big money.
Where adult content could equal big money. Look at her now. Look at her now. It's getting more and more demonic. It's getting less and less of the Disney characters of the Wonder Woman. You know, she's a witch now. It's getting darker and darker. And she met a woman that took her into the adult world.
Already posting photos anonymously, so she realized she might as well monetize on it. A cam girl generally gets paid for performing acts in front of a camera for money. Melissa was immediately intrigued and jumped in with both feet. Why not? She felt she had nothing to lose. She had this new belief in herself, and she was already receiving great feedback from the cosplay world.
Okay, first of all, hello to Samsung in the chat. Hello, welcome. And we've got Luffy Gamer. Welcome back. Welcome. It's so good to see all these faces in my chat. I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. Let me just clear something up. Okay, a cam girl is a prostitute. Okay, you sell sex. Okay, that's what a cam girl is. You're not just getting on camera like us today and going, "Oh, hello everyone. Look at my costume. Oh, it's amazing, right?" No, that's not how it goes. That's why, you know, they're not on YouTube doing it. Okay, that's why, because you get kicked off.
And at that, she created Two Thorned Rose. It didn't blow up right away, but she kept at it, and after a couple of years, she started generating a steady income and was able to quit her other jobs.
If you don't know who I am, if you never heard of me or anything like that before, I am Two Thorned Rose. You can call me Rose. I'm a cam model. I'm an artist. I love fitness. I've lost 100 pounds. I like making videos about that and about my art and just about my daily life. And my channel over on YouTube, where I was doing all of that stuff, got deleted. I am here.
Her channel on YouTube where she was doing all that stuff got deleted. I'm a cam girl. I lost 100 pounds. I mean, okay? Yeah. Okay. Here we go again. It's like, you know, you lose 100 pounds, you go straight into porn. Straight into corn. Straight into it. You know, this is society today. This is society today. This is scary. This is scary. She is scary. She is a monster.
Here, hoping to make Twitch my new home. Hello, thank you.
A camgirl doesn't necessarily always translate to sexual acts, although that does tend to be a common factor in many channels, and with hundreds.
Are you looking at this? Look at this. She has fangs on now. Fangs on. Hello, Ajot. Another social justice warrior. My auditors are in here. Okay. We got to do a show one time with the auditors on here too. All right. And Brandon Mitchell. Good evening, Brandon. Drew put their... thank you so much. Thank you so much. You put the American Justice. That's Ajot's channel. Anybody that's into all this stuff, go subscribe to her. Subscribe to Brandon. Get on it, everybody. And we have Ark. ARKAV. I love these names. I gotta make. Okay, I'm calling you Ark. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. I've got 999 is your nickname over there, MD 999, and now I'm gonna Ark. That's your nickname. Okay. All right. I digress.
Be a common factor in many channels, and with hundreds, if not thousands, of new faces popping up daily, it can be difficult to keep fans returning to your content, which can be frustrating when trying to make a living from this profession. Many online forums had restrictions on what type of content could be.
First of all, Ajot, $5 holla. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Love your channel. Love your work. Can't wait to collab with you, by the way. Okay? We're going to talk about that later, okay? Thank you so much. All right. Let's keep this moving. Let me know what you think, Ajot, too. What do you think of this one? Did she do it?
So eventually Melissa had to create her own independent channel, where her following helped pay for her to act in and produce her own adult films. Most of the themes of her films were horror-based, and October was a big month for her. She did well, so much.
Wow, are you looking at this? Look at this. So we saw the nice girl before, right? The chubby girl that, had no confidence. She lost 100 pounds, and she goes straight to this. Look at this. First of all, she's talented. Am I right or am I right? Guys, is she talented or what? I mean, it's not like she's making, total trash. You know what I mean? This looks like a really creative person right here, which is actually sad because she could have probably been working in Hollywood or working for some company creating this stuff, like, not demonic, but you know what I'm saying? She actually has talent. Sad.
She did well, so much so that she and her boyfriend sought the opportunity to make more money by renting out their studio and their video equipment to other camgirls to do the same. They were a strong team, and this hobby had definitely turned into a career. But the only downfall was that the business only worked as long as the relationship worked, and slowly, as the cracks started to form between the pair, so did they within the business. Melissa tried to...
So this here is her prior boyfriend. Boy, did he dodge a bullet. Okay. She started a business with him, and that didn't work out too well. Boy, this girl is pretty talented. She can look like 1,000 different things. I mean, to be able to do that makeup looking like that nun, that demonic nun, and then look like this in real time is pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, I must say. Very sad.
Slowly, as the cracks started to form between the pair, so did they within the business. Melissa tried to manage it all on her own, but once the couple officially ended, so did the studio business. Although Melissa did her best, things just didn't run as smoothly.
My ex-boyfriend Dickface, after we had been together for a while, and I had had so many girls asking me about camming, if I could help them, blah, 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 he was like, let's start a studio.
Now we're starting to see who she really is, right? Now we're starting to see who she really is. I'm going to bring this back. Pay close attention to this clip. This is who you're really dealing with, okay? This is the real her, all right? Not the one crying on the witness stand with the fake tears. This is the real her.
and I had so many girls asking me about camming, if I could help them, blah, blah, blah. He was like, let's start a studio. Let's have cam rooms. I spent so much time focusing on that, focusing on other people, focusing on other shit. I feel like I could have done so much more and be so much more ahead of where I am now if I had put all of that fucking time and effort into me and my shit. But it is what it
Remember what she just said. It's all about her. All about her. She would have been doing so much better if she put all of her time and effort into her. Yep. So is that why you were with the boyfriend to begin with? So that he could help you with your, corn side of cosplay for adults? Really? Is that what it's really? Is that what this is really about now?
is. Having the studio taught me a lot about working with other people. The studio thing just turned into me doing all the work, me finding the girls, me doing all the editing, all the setup, all the every fucking thing. I did everything, and I'm so goddamn mad.
After some time alone, Melissa continued to
She did everything, and she's so GD mad. Can you imagine? I mean, this girl is like a shapeshifter beyond.
Damn mad.
After some time alone, Melissa continued to work on herself. And in 2017, she met and started dating Matthew Trusler. Matthew was a fun-loving guy, adored by family and friends. He grew up in Massachusetts, and after graduating college...
Look at this. Look at this guy. He does not look like somebody that would be dating a cosplay corn star that dresses up in costumes every day. And demonic nuns, okay? Seriously. Sad.
And after graduating college, chose to move to a bigger city.
Ajot says, me. Aw, poor her. Exactly. Yeah, she went off the deep end. Ajot says she went off the deep end. She went off the deep end. For sure.
Decided on Tampa Bay.
Yeah, opposites do attract. You're right, U-Haul. Opposites attract. Oh, boy.
Florida, close to where his brother Sean already lived.
Now, that's his family. That's him on the right. His mother. And that's his brother in the middle. Really sad. It's really sad because, a life is lost for nothing, really. Really sad.
Brother Sean already lived. It wasn't long before he was already getting himself established and making a proper future for himself. After living in Florida for a while, Matthew ended up meeting Melissa, where they hit it off right away. Matthew was a gentle soul who had a soft spot for animals and lived his life in a respectful, caring manner, so there was no question why Melissa fell for him right away. He was completely on board with Melissa's profession and even helped her.
Okay, now this is where the unfiltered me comes in, all right? This is where the unfiltered version of me comes in. Ajot, where are you right now, all right? Here's what I'm going to say. What is actually wrong with him now? Okay? What is actually wrong with him now? What is wrong with him? So, this girl here, you're fine with the career that she's done. Okay, fine. You met on an app, guaranteed, right? Everybody meets on dating apps, right? Anybody that thinks it's not, that's how it is today, that's it. That's where everybody meets, right? Fine. It's understandable that, when you meet somebody, that's why you kind of slow walk it a little bit so you can figure out what's going on. But he was supportive of her career. So you meet a chick on an app, you get together with her, right? This is him. Look at this. You guys get together and you're cool with this? You're cool with all this demonic stuff that look at this. Look at this.
He was completely on board with Melissa's profession.
Completely on board with Melissa's profession. Completely on board. I don't know, guys. U-Haul, 999, Brandon, let me know something, okay? Would you be completely on board with this? Would you take this girl home to your mother's? Boys, tell me, would you take this girl home to your mom? And your mom says, oh, Brandon, hi, honey. What did she do? Oh, honey, what do you go to school for? Oh, she dresses up in cosplay, and for adult movies that she produces with herself in it. Is this who you bring home? So my question is this: what exactly is wrong with this guy? What is exactly wrong with Matthew? Because something is not right. You have to get to a point where you're like, well, you meet somebody in an app, fine. It's a risk. Hey, you know what? It's a risk if you meet somebody at a restaurant. It's a risk if you meet somebody in a church that could be a wacko, right? You get to know them. You find out that they're doing this, and then you still bring them home to mom. I don't understand how this goes from A to Z like this. There's a thing that we have called instinct, intuition. Are you telling me it's one or two things? Either you kind of knew something was off and you did it anyway, right? Or you wanted to do it. You liked it. It was intriguing to you. Okay? The theme of the show tonight. Okay? Rabbits cannot play with lions in the jungle. Can't do it. Because eventually they're going to eat you. And then what? Are you supposed to be shocked? Of course not. Let's find out what's wrong with him.
Profession and even helped her with her videos. By 2019, they were engaged and
now here we go. So he's helping her with her videos. Now he's participating in it. He's actually participating in it. This is some demonic stuff, okay? All right, and look, guys, this is not some music video for a rock band, okay? That's a whole different thing, all right? Fine. People get up and dress up. Fine, okay, I get it. I get it, right? But we're talking about somebody that's making money, dressing up and doing these wacky things in the adult film world. Now look at the two of them. Look at the two of them. He's got blood. This looks like her crime. Does this not look like her mugshot? Does this not look like her mugshot? Billy D is in the chat. Billy D, what time is it over there? Are you nuts? Okay. Billy is one of my very first followers. One of my very first followers. And somehow he's in a whole other time zone. Okay. It is really late, really early in the morning over there right now. Thank you so much for coming in. Yes. Cliff, maybe he was on board. All right. Guys, she's acting out her dark side. Out in the open. Can we say red flag? Ajot? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Can we say red flag? Are you looking at this? This picture of her face actually looks like her mugshot. She had blood and scratches and defense wounds all around her chin. How does that photo resemble all of the blood around her? Look at this. And he's got blood on himself and he's got his shirt off and they're sitting there doing selfies after they just made some disgusting corn movie for her paying fans. And now they're engaged. Okay? All right. I digress.
by 2019, they were engaged and these two were flourishing and really making a name for themselves. They were even able to buy a 4-bedroom house together in Riverview, Florida, and fill.
Look at this house. Look at this house. How do you buy a beautiful house like this? A 4-bedroom house. Not an apartment, not a condo, they bought a house together, okay? Off of her corn movies. This is where we've gotten in society. How in the heck are you buying that house off of this? You got to be making some serious money here, okay? This is where it gets good. So let's think about this. You got a nice boy, we saw his family. He moved to Florida to be closer to his brother, right? Ends up meeting her on a dating app, right? Right? He was never in this world. She's already in this world, okay? And she drags him in it. They buy a house together. They're doing selfies with blood all over, the fake blood all over themselves. I mean, how do you get this? Look at the pool. This is where they found his body. This is where Matthew was found dead, okay? Yeah, money isn't everything, is it? No, not when you're dead. What does it mean? Yeah.
In Riverview, Florida, and filled it with 4 cats and 1 dog. They were certainly living the American dream, and at such a young age, it seemed that they had already had it all figured out. Matthew was no doubt living the life he had always wanted, or at least that's what it looked like.
Look at this. This is Matthew. This is him in 2019 of January. Quarter century later, I've got a mortgage, a pup, 4 fur babies. How sad, because he loved animals. My God. And a wonderful girl. Oh, yeah. Real wonderful. I'm a happy man. I also realized I'm getting older because instead of sleeping in, my ass woke up at 6:30 without an alarm. Now, this is the thing about social media, okay? All right? Everything you see online is not necessarily the truth, right? Watch one of Fresh and Fit's episodes. You'll get that right away. Remember the episode, guys? All the Fresh and Fit fans in here with the, catfishes? I mean, there's an entire show called Catfish for a reason. You get what I'm saying? Welcome, is it Bacon? Bacon? Okay, I'm going to call you B. I always love your comments. I'm not even sure if it's a he or she, but that bubble, I always see it like immediately. Okay, all right. I digress. This is crazy.
It looked like through the eyes of social media. Melissa and Matthew were each expressing to the world their happiness with each other, and everyone was happy for them. But like most things, and like we've all come to learn,
Now here she is, Two-Thorned Rose. That's her name. Amazing. I'm still as happy a year and a half in as I was. The man is dead. You were happy? The man is dead. You killed him. How happy could you have been? She's either a psychopath, absolutely insane, okay? I mean, I don't know.
Everything that we see online represents the whole truth. If you were to talk to those close to Matthew and Melissa, they would tell you that the two were constantly bickering, and apparently it was loud enough and often enough for the neighbors to notice. No relation.
Here we go. Now we're getting down to the bottom of what's happening here. So they were bickering. The neighbors knew it, and the people close to them said the same. Now, I wonder why they're bickering. I wonder why. Now, obviously, she is a money hungry, think about this. All right. This girl is completely unstable, all right? Completely unstable. You're overweight as a child. You needed cosplay to find out who you are, to have confidence in yourself. How do you need cosplay to find out who you are again? Okay, I can't get past that. Okay, it might be something you do as a hobby, and that's amazing. Okay, I think it's actually pretty incredible the stuff they do. But I mean, really, and now you go from that into losing 100 pounds, right? You lost 100 pounds. You start blogging and vlogging and all this crap about it, right? And then you go from the minute you lose 100 pounds, you take your clothes off. That says a lot about who she actually is right there, right? Right? You get one boyfriend, you start a business with him, it's not working out. You're on. First of all, anybody that goes on the internet and starts talking about somebody that they were in a relationship with it's trashy. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go.
For the neighbors to notice. No relationship is perfect, and no one expects it to be. But it seems that Matthew's brother Sean would go as far as to say that he felt that Matthew and Melissa's relationship was toxic. He felt that Melissa would keep Matthew from having relationships with his friends and family, and that she was controlling and manipulative. Now, toxic is a pretty strong word to use, and maybe he was just being overprotective, because it was his brother and everyone wants the best for their family.
But I'm going to say something. Families usually know what's happening, right? How many times have you known a friend or somebody in your family and they're dating somebody and you're like, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, right? And most of the time, your family's right. Most of the time. Not all of the time, but most. So if his brother is saying that she was controlling, she was, trying to play the divide and conquer, anytime somebody's trying to separate you from your family and friends, that's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. Billy D says, find out who you are. Mental health, more like. Exactly.
Or maybe Sean was onto something.
911, what is your emergency?
I woke up with my boyfriend. He was outside this morning. He's cold. He's gone. The kitchen's a bloody mess. He's not breathing.
Why is the kitchen a bloody mess?
I don't know.
What's your name?
So, Melissa
Hi. The kitchen is a bloody mess. Let's look at this. The kitchen is a bloody mess. Why is the kitchen a bloody mess? I don't know. You don't know? You don't know. You don't know why. First of all, look at this. Obviously, they're smoking, they're drinking. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know look at this blood. Look at this. And then when she calls in, she's like, he's cold, he's gone. Okay, first of all, let's think about this for a second. Somebody says, if he's cold and he's gone, that means he's been gone for a while if he's cold, right? He's been gone for a minute. You're just calling 911 now? I don't know, did one of your characters come and possess you? And how did this happen exactly? How? And let's think about this as we move forward. You're calling 911, you're still in the house, but you don't... Let's let this play out.
He's gone. The kitchen's a bloody mess. He's not breathing.
Why is the kitchen a bloody mess?
I don't know.
What's your name?
So, Melissa Turner.
October 18th of 2019 at 8:45 a.m., Melissa made a phone call to 911, stating that she had found her boyfriend Matthew Trusler dead outside on the back patio. She claimed to have found him unresponsive. She checked for his breathing and tried CPR multiple times, and when all those attempts failed, she called for emergency help. By the time paramedics arrived on the scene, it was...
Okay. First of all, all right. First of all, 999 says she definitely did it. Yeah, she definitely did it. Okay? She definitely did this. I mean, think about that phone call, all right? Think about that phone call. The phone call alone is just strange. The kitchen is a bloody mess. Why is the kitchen a bloody mess? I don't know. How do you not know?
And when all those attempts failed, she called for emergency help. By the time paramedics arrived on the scene, it was far too late, and Matthew was gone. In fact, paramedics said that he was already in a state of rigor mortis when they had arrived.
He was already in a state of rigor mortis. Now that is when your body stiffens. It's something to do with the muscles. You know, it's somebody's been dead for a while if you're in the state of rigor mortis. That's how that works. So he's been dead and you're just calling now. Because how long does it take the paramedics to actually show up? What, 5 minutes at the most? What, 8 at the very most? That's New York City. I mean, probably even quicker in towns like this. It's not like you're trying to navigate through traffic in Manhattan. Already red flags.
It was clear that whatever had happened was not an accident. Matthew had multiple lacerations and a very distinct deep stab wound in his back. His arms were covered in defensive wounds, and it might be safe to say that this was not a quick or quiet altercation. Matthew was clearly attacked, and it was brutal. Melissa, covered in dried blood and
Take a look at her. Tyrants Beware said, Cece, one of her cosplay characters killed him now. Come on. I know, Tyrants. I know it was a cosplay character. And Billy says, strawberry jam everywhere over there. What a mess. Yeah. What? Oh, she didn't know what it was. Oh, I thought it was from the scene I was doing for my corn movie for the client that paid me $3,000 to dress up like Wonder Woman and whatever it was. I mean, this is what I'm saying. This entire thing screams weirdness, strangeness, craziness. So when I look at a guy like him, I wonder what possesses you to actually continue on and get engaged and buy a home with this woman. All right? Look, if this was, they met, they were dating, he was over there, he was helping her with some of her films. Okay. Even that I can't get past, but all right. And she killed him. Okay. You made a big, big mistake, you know? But you bought a house with the woman. Are you out of your mind? You bought a home and got engaged. I can't get past that. Something is wrong with him too.
Complete shock after finding Matthew was rambling and emotional.
Will you look at her? Look at her. That is scary.
But was able to tell the officers at the scene that she had found Matthew outside on the patio, cold and already dead. She tells officers that she doesn't know what happened. She agrees to go to the police department because she wanted to help the police figure out what happened to Matthew.
Ark says, what did he do to deserve this? Okay. What did he do to deserve this? Andrew, a face a demon could love. Yes. Major says, facts, Andrew. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, welcome, Ghost, 1978. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming by. This is absurd. This is absurd. Okay, this woman, this gets more and more insane. And don't forget, you're going to hear her speak for herself. We're going to get there. That'll blow your mind.
That's glamorous and they make it on TV.
Do you hear what she just said? Look at, it's a lot less glamorous than they make it on TV. Is this girl insane? You're sitting in an interrogation room and you're talking about how a murder looks on TV and that in real life it's a lot less glamorous. What is this? Somebody is dead. Can you imagine being his mother or his brother? Can you imagine being this poor guy's mother? She's sitting here talking about how glamorous it is on television, how less glamorous it is here. I mean, is she absolutely insane? That is a psychopath. That comment right there, I can't get past.
We were having a great time.
Was there anything physical, violent?
He was never violent.
Remember, was there anything physical? No. Violent, he says, the detective. She says he was never violent. Those are her words. Her words.
He was never violent. He was always amazing with me.
She told them that the night before, she and Matthew had spent the night drinking.
I mean, that's what we did. We were there at the house ourselves. We had drinks. He always liked drinking. He was a drinker.
At about 11 p.m., she got tired and she went to sleep in her office chair, but Matthew kept drinking. She woke up the next morning and saw the condition of the kitchen and then went upstairs to look for him in the bedroom. It wasn't until she went back downstairs that she realized that he was outside.
Okay. Here's where the story comes in. Here's the nonsense. Okay. Look at this kitchen. Look at the mess. That's blood. Look at that. She went back. I mean, are those like specks of blood on it? Like, what are we actually looking at here? And look at her hands. This woman is insane. And she's unstable. She gained the weight back. All right, at this point. So think about this. This girl lost 100 pounds, right? She was modeling on these cosplay things, doing all this stuff. Now look at her. She's a whole different person again, so she's angry again. See, she needs to be 100 pounds thinner and dressed up in cosplay stuff in order to have found herself and have confidence, okay? You shouldn't need to weigh a certain amount or be in a costume to have confidence. This is an insane person.
At about 11 p.m., she got tired and she went to sleep in her office chair, but Matthew kept drinking. She woke up the next morning and saw the condition of the kitchen and then went upstairs to look for him in the bedroom. It wasn't until she went back downstairs that she realized that he was outside. She ran to him and immediately started CPR. A police officer on the scene had Melissa put on orange latex gloves because she had so much blood on her hands that
she had so much blood on her hands. She had so much blood. Look at this. Look at her hands. They're full of blood. Her hands are full of blood. Look. You can see it from this angle. Look at this. Her hands are full of blood. Like, it's just like, how do you How do you walk into an interrogation room with your hands full of blood like this and act like you don't know what happened? How?
Orange latex gloves because she had so much blood on her hands that she was getting blood on everything she touched. She was told that she could take them off in the interrogation, but opted to keep them on for the time being.
Do you want to keep wearing those gloves, or do you want to take them off?
I'll leave them on for now.
When she was asked by the detective if she had any injuries or wounds, she says no.
She says no. No injuries or wounds. But do you remember what her face looked like? She had scratches all over her face. There's blood all in her hair. How do you... Okay. If you were giving somebody CPR, let's think about this for a second. All my auditors out here. Okay? AJOT. If you're giving someone CPR and they're full of blood, would it be all in your hair? Is that possible? I don't know. You could have blood on your hands, but somebody was stabbed in the back and you're giving them CPR. Meanwhile, they're cold. And so is the blood, like, how long does it take for blood to dry even? It's a good question. Let me know if anybody knows.
That she knew of, and after some time, she was eventually asked to take off her gloves for evidence photos.
I have a little cut.
And that's from what?
I think it's from grabbing the glass.
She says it was from grabbing glass. Grabbing glass. Pay attention.
Your hand is a little more there. Hurt to open it up.
Audrey. Hello, Audrey. Yes, you are driving many miles and you should not be texting. Okay. Thank you for coming in the chat. I hope you're enjoying this because I know you love true crime. So, Andrew, another super chat. Okay. He says it was General Custard in the library with the candlestick. Andrew. Is there any lesson to be learned here, people? Okay? All right? Like, any lesson to be learned here? Oh, thank you for the super chat, Andrew.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, I didn't notice.
That slide's pretty good.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, wow.
She didn't even notice. She said she didn't even notice. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know. How do you not know? Okay, look at this. Okay, open your hands a little. They're taking photos, okay? Because, you know, they're taking, you know, documenting what. That hurt to open it. Sorry. Okay. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. It's sliced pretty good, the detective says. So you got a huge slice in your hand, but you don't know what happened? All right.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea that was there.
How do you have no idea a laceration on your hand is there? I mean, I know when I get a paper cut, for God's sake, it hurts so bad. So you literally sliced your hand open and you didn't know it was there? Like, are you that high and drunk or what? What is going on here?
She still claims that she doesn't know or remember what happened. She can't recall how she got the cuts on her body and is even shocked to hear about Matthew's injuries.
My problem is I got Matthew on the back porch with stab wounds.
Stab wounds?
On top of all the physical...
Do you hear that? Are you hearing that? She says, stab wounds, as if she didn't know. Stab wounds. Okay. Stab wounds. She didn't know.
Stab wounds.
On top of all the physical evidence found inside the home, they also had evidence taken from a surveillance camera posted in their living room and Nest cameras from their neighbors' homes. Specifically, a Nest camera positioned on a neighbor's garage that was pointed in the direction of Matthew's and Melissa's backyard. Unfortunately, their fence prevented the camera from capturing any video, but look
how big that house is. I just can't get over it. Now, you're in an area like this. Everybody's got surveillance cameras, okay? There are cameras constantly on you, whether it's a phone or this or that. You're being filmed. You're being taped. Somebody's hearing and seeing something, okay? You're living in a neighborhood like this, and so no one's going to hear anything. A camera's not going to catch anything. Like this is how delusional women are. You're lying to the police. You've already caught her in how many lies, right? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that got there. Oh my God, my hand is practically cut in two. I don't know how that got there. I didn't know. Stab wounds? I didn't know. Mm-hmm.
The camera was able to pick up audio of what happened that night.
So the camera picked up audio. Interesting. That's about to get fun.
Tell me about what happened around 4 o'clock this morning.
4 o'clock? What happened at 4 o'clock?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
I don't know either.
She doesn't know what happened at 4 o'clock. Okay, somebody is dead in your backyard, at your pool that you live with and bought that house with, that you're engaged to. Your fiance is dead. You called 911. The police are asking you what happened around 4 a.m. You don't know? You don't know. How high can you be? I mean, geez, these drugs must be just literally off the charts.
Why?
Was there any arguing?
At 4 o'clock? Not that I know of. I believe I was asleep.
Oh, she believes she was asleep now. Okay, so she was asleep. She was asleep at 4 o'clock.
I have no memory of any argument at 4 in the morning.
I have some video surveillance actually yelling and screaming between a male and a female coming from your house.
Further into questioning and after being confronted with this evidence, Melissa tells the detectives that what she had said earlier wasn't the whole truth.
I would say he woke me up and we got in an argument over that.
Okay, before you weren't arguing. You don't know what happened. Now she's telling the police a whole different story, okay? A whole different story. Now he woke her up and now they got in an argument. So somebody calls 911. Their fiance is dead, okay? At the pool in your house, okay? You had an argument, but you didn't remember that earlier? How do you not know this? How? Cliff Williams says, would rigor occur in 4 hours? 4.5 hours. Yeah. When exactly does that happen? When does that actually happen? When does the body start to actually stiffen? And here's the other thing. So do you give CPR to a body that is just totally stiffened and you clearly know is past? There's no pulse. Are you giving CPR to somebody with no pulse? I don't know.
Because he was still up at 4 in the morning drinking.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, you do have a memory of what happened, right?
Yes.
At 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Now, with her memory newly refreshed, she tells a different story. He woke her up at about 4 a.m., completely drunk and in a rage. They argued and he had attempted to hurt her. Melissa fought him off, which made him even more upset.
Here we go. She fought him off now. Now, remember earlier when they were interrogating her in the interrogation room, the detective said, any violence? And she said, no, he was never violent. Now she was fighting him off. Which is it? See, this is where the delusion comes in with these people, okay? This is literally where the delusion comes in. This girl actually said earlier in the interrogation room that it's a lot less glamorous than it looks on TV, talking about a murder as if this is not an actual life that was lost. Is she insane? Now, one lie after the next with these police, okay? The detective, I mean, we're catching her in how many lies? Can you imagine what these detectives are sitting there saying? Like, this woman should have literally been handcuffed right then and there and thrown in a cell.
Which made him even more upset. He had managed to hit her a few times before he grabbed a kitchen knife and...
Okay, hold on. Ajot says, depending on conditions and environment, as quickly as 2 hours. Okay, you're talking about the rigor mortis, right? The stiffening of the body. So as quickly as 2 hours. So they're saying when the detectives got there, like he was gone, like stiff. So 2 hours. So now you said you were asleep at 4 a.m. Now he woke you up and you got in a fight. So how is this? So he woke you up, you got in an argument, it got physical, and then what? You waited at 2 hours plus 2+ hours to call 911? None of this makes any sense. None of it.
And charged at her. She blocked the knife by grabbing it by the blade end, causing the wound in her left hand. Matthew tried to control her by full force after throwing her down and trying to strangle her. Melissa acted quickly.
Now he tried to strangle her, okay? Look, this is not a domestic violence case, okay? Where you're in a situation and you're in danger, your fiance is violent. This is a domestic violent situation, okay? And he ended up dead, and you called the police, and when the police asked you initially, you're lying about it. Okay, if he was still alive and this was a situation where there was domestic violence and women, it's difficult situations sometimes. Sometimes there's children involved. You can't just leave. There's a whole bunch of reasons why people don't just get up and leave if you're in an abusive relationship on any level, right? Even if your parents are abusive, right? Right? So I can understand a woman getting in a situation where, let's say, the neighbors call the cops and you end up kind of like not telling the truth because you're afraid of your husband. Because we all know police sometimes are not going to do anything, right? Right? You have to really think about these things, right? So, yeah, you would say, no, he's not a violent man, okay? Because you got to go back home. And where are your kids right now? Right? Things like that have to be kind of planned, right? To escape. But the man is dead. So why are you lying if there was violence? If he was being violent to you, right? Why would you lie initially? Why? He's dead. Why would you lie? It makes no sense.
By grabbing the knife and, in her own words, lightly stabbing Matthew in the back in order to defend herself.
There you go. So she's admitted to lightly. How do you lightly stab someone in the back? Anybody know? How do you lightly stab someone in the back? A stab in the back is a stab in the back. And we're not talking about somebody talking here. We're talking about a knife. You can't lightly stab somebody. If you lightly stab somebody, then you didn't really stab them, right? Just saying.
In the back in order to defend herself. Now it's clear that this story and the original story are miles apart, and police have to question why someone acting out of self-defense would lie to the dispatch and the responding officers. We also have to take into account that
Are you looking at that? Wow. That is something right there. A lot of blood on those hands. A lot of blood.
To take into account that everyone reacts differently out of shock, and that it was important to take in all the evidence and compare it to the stories told by Melissa. And
everyone acts differently out of shock. Now, let me tell you something. If this was in the reverse, okay, guys? If this was a guy that killed his fiance, would anybody be talking like this? Everyone acts differently out of shock. Of course they wouldn't. Of course not. He would be a cold-blooded murderer. But because it's a girl that, had issues and blah, 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 she's a female, right? Everyone acts differently under stress, under shock. No. I'm sorry.
They had a lot of evidence. First of all, Matthew was covered in defensive wounds as if he were the one being attacked, not so much the one doing the attacking. He also had a large laceration on his bicep and across his chest. Also, the laceration on Melissa's hand only made sense if she were the one holding the knife and her hand slipped down the blade. It didn't match the wound someone would receive if they were trying to stop a knife by grabbing it at the blade end. Things just weren't matching up.
Well, you heard all that, right? You heard all that. Yep. Now we're getting somewhere.
Detective Legassi spent hours listening and watching the surveillance from the neighbor's camera, staring at darkness and listening to the hum of a silent neighborhood until finally, at about 4 a.m., he could hear what he said was racketing in the background, the sound of things being broken. So he focused in, and then voices, screaming. The audio has not been fully released. I do have bits of it, and warning, it is horrible to listen to. But the transcript of the audio has been released to the public. Detective Legassi, who heard the audio, was asked to describe the tone of the voices and where the voices were coming from.
See, this is why you can't do this kind of stuff. There's an audio tape from somebody's camera at another house. Yeah. She didn't think of that, did she? Because she's used to doing make-believe, okay? You're not a professional at this. You lost control and thought you can get away with it. Crazy.
He stated that the voices were coming from Matthew and Melissa's house, that the few times the male voice was heard was low and tough to distinguish, while the female voice was very, very loud, sounded very angry. At 4:30 a.m., a female is heard saying, "You, stay down," followed by the sound of breaking glass. 5 minutes later at 4:35, the same voice is heard saying, "I hate you," and "Get up," multiple times.
Stay down, I hate you, get up. These are the things that were heard on the audio tape. Okay, this is insane.
A scuffle.
You hear that?
Saying, "I hate you," and "Get up," multiple times. A scuffle, followed by smacking sounds, and then the female voice says, "Get up," so being arrogant. "I hate you. Go yourself." And then, at 4:43 a.m., another scuffle and continued smacking is heard, and a male's voice. What was said is inaudible and unclear. There was continued arguing, and then the female voice was heard again screaming, "So, die."
Wow. Wow. How sad that his parents have to actually live through this. First of all, to lose a child, and then to actually have to see and hear these tapes like this of her. She's a psychopath. Where are her parents? You telling me that her parents didn't know something's not right with her? This is not a mentally ill person. You killed somebody, and not in self-defense. Listen to how she's talking on those tapes. She's a lunatic. She's a psychopath.
No, followed by, "What did I do?" This audio doesn't coincide with the story that Melissa was the one being attacked. She is heard saying, "Get up," "Wake up," multiple times, in between yelling slurs at Matthew.
Wow. This girl is absolutely insane. Look at how she looked when she met him. She was playing a role here too. See, that's the thing. What did she use him for? What was her purpose? See, because everything with her, anybody that behaves like this, there's a reason that they're bringing you around. You know, it's all about her, me, okay? Me. Ajot said at that point, she realized she killed him. Absolutely. Absolutely. Insane.
Between yelling slurs at Matthew. She seems in full control and had many chances to escape if she was in fact being held against her will. What we don't hear much of is Matthew's voice. If he was loud, if he was scary, if he was attacking her like she said, it seems logical that we would have heard more, from him at least.
But first of all, look at the life that these two were leading, okay? They're in the pool, fine. It's a lot of drinking for two people that were isolated all the time, which is what the brother was saying. which is what she mentioned, the narrator earlier, that this girl was controlling. She was pulling him away from everybody, all his friends, all his family, and they were just in the house. What, shooting her videos? See, me. Audrey, are you sending super chats from the car? Okay. Please drive safely. All right, drive. Thank you so much for the super chat. Audrey says, wow, this is my jam, true crime. I know it's your jam. I know you. She loves all of this stuff. A&E, all of the Tyrant stuff. She knows all about the Fraudulent Wrangler, all of that stuff. Okay, I'm so glad you like it. Thank you so much for the super chat, and stop texting while you're driving, okay?
Least. But all we seem to hear is Melissa on the attack and Matthew on the defense. Another piece of technology that aligned with the audio of the Nest camera was Matthew's smartwatch. Just minutes after we hear Melissa yell, "What did I do?" Matthew's smartwatch stops detecting his heartbeat.
She did not think about that now, did she? Can you imagine? His smartwatch. They know exactly when he died. His heartbeat stopped on the smartwatch. Wow. That is crazy.
It was fairly obvious that Melissa was the cause of Matthew's death. She had even admitted it herself in the retelling of the story. But was it murder or was it self-defense? She explains that she had actually told the 911 dispatcher that she had cut her hand, but
now she remembers telling the 911 dispatcher that she cut her hand. Like, which is it, lady? Make up your mind, okay? If you're going to do something like this, get it right. Thank you so much, the Duke City crew. Thank you for the super chat and welcome. Welcome into tonight's show. I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for coming by. All right.
I just forgot with all the shock of it all and was...
Look at her face. I mean, I hate to judge a book by its cover, but come on. I mean, she looks insane.
Never purposely trying to hide it. She wasn't trying to hide anything. She just couldn't remember it all. We can't forget that when Melissa called 911, Matthew was already cold and showing signs of rigor mortis. It was a full 4 hours before she called for help. She made no attempt to save him, and she lied about what had happened.
A full 4 hours. A full 4 hours she waited to call 911. This woman is an absolute demon. Okay? Even if in the heat of the moment and there was drinking involved and drugs, okay? And things got out of control and something like this happened. You wait 4 hours or so? What was she doing exactly for 4 hours? When he was lying there dying and dead. When? What was she doing? What? I can't get past this part, okay? I can't get past it. This woman is literally living in the land of make-believe, okay? Literally living in the land of make-believe. And this is what happens when parents, okay, are not paying attention to what's going on with their children. I want to know where her parents are. You have an overweight child who's obese, not just overweight, who lost 100 pounds. That's impressive, okay? Immediately starts getting naked and taking her clothes off and doing corn work. You do understand she's a corn star, right? She's a corn star. Let's not get it twisted here. She's just not playing like Princess Leia online, okay? She's doing sexual acts in these costumes. That's a fact. I'm not making that up. I'm not assuming that's what she was doing. How do you think she bought that house? Okay? That's how that works. This is insane.
It actually happened. It wasn't just a moment of intense action where she acted without thought and now regretted it. She wasn't caught up in the moment where it was her life or his. She waited until there was no going back before calling the police.
My God, look at this. Jeez. I feel sick for his family and hers, because you know what? Can you imagine? This is your daughter. This is your sister. This is atrocious.
Waited until there was no going back before calling the police. With this information, police arrested Melissa for the murder of Matthew Trusler. While awaiting trial, Melissa voiced her innocence and stuck to her claims that she was the victim. She says that Matthew was old.
Look how different. Like this woman is literally. This is not that far apart. Like, first of all, I just can't get past these pictures of her with all the blood all over her hands. There's dried blood in her hair. The blood is dried, so I don't understand. You obviously left him to die because there's dried blood in your hair. Like, how do you? Because if 4 hours, you got the smartwatch, you got the camera, the audio from the camera, okay, and you've got detectives that are putting all of this together, like, on the spot. These people do this professionally, right? Ajot. She was sleeping, right? Exactly. She was sleeping, okay? I mean, hello. Ghost 1978 says, this is the type of woman that the man and bear in the woods run away from. The man and the bear. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, this is what I'm saying about him, though. This is the type of woman that a man and the bear run away from. So what was he doing with her? Okay, you get involved. You meet her on an app. You get involved. I get it. You don't know everything about everybody. That's understandable. Everybody meets on apps today. I've said it 1,000 times. Fine. You get together. But then you start realizing that she's a corn star and she's dressing up in cosplay and getting money. So you start working with her and then you buy a house together. That's nuts. What is wrong with him? Something is wrong with him as well. You don't just move in with a corn star, start getting in her movies. He was in the films with her.
And stuck to her claims that she was the victim. She says that Matthew was always drunk and that he would threaten her and himself harm often. For some reason, the police never...
Now he was always drunk and he would threaten her and himself harm often. Now, in the beginning of the interrogation with the detective, he asked her, was there violence? And she said, no, he was never violent. Just remember.
Melissa's blood alcohol level that night, but she admitted to drinking heavily. And when Matthews was checked, his level was 5 times the legal limit in Florida. Melissa says that this night he was
5 times the legal limit. Wow. Well, a lot of drinking going on.
Was belligerent and aggressive, that he was acting possessed. She only stabbed him in self-defense, and that she only stabbed him that one time in his back.
He's acting possessed. Did you not see her earlier on? Okay? Dressed as a demonic nun with green glowing eyes. Pretty impressive work, I'll say. You know, for those of you who see, she's pretty talented at this cosplay thing. But she's literally dressed as a nun, laying on a bed, on her stomach, doing all this wacky stuff for corn movies. She's producing herself in corn movies. She's a prostitute. She's a corn star, okay? And she's calling him demonic? Who's demonic here? I'm going to go with her, since he's dead.
This was after the medical examiner says that the stab in the back was not the fatal cut, but in actuality, the cut on his arm hit a vein, and this is the cut that caused his death. When asked how he got the slash on his arm, she says that she doesn't know, but it wasn't her. The reason
she doesn't know. It wasn't her. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, Myron. It wasn't me. Yeah. So it wasn't her. She actually thinks that she can get away with this. That this is the craziness of this. This woman is such a narcissist that she actually thought that she could get away with this. That's crazy.
Wasn't her. The reason this wasn't brought up before was because she didn't remember. She claimed that she was suffering from a head injury from Matthew's assault, and that, along with the drinking, caused her to lose memory of that night. Matthew's family say that they believe...
How convenient. She had a head injury, and that caused her to forget everything. Her memory. She lost her memory. She lost her memory from the drinking and the head injury. You literally forgot you murdered your fiance, left him for dead, waited till he had rigor mortis. By the time 4 hours plus go by, and then you call 911, you're full of blood, full of scratches. You've got you cut your hand in half, for God's sake. Okay? But the drinking and the head injury. Oh, you bumped your head and you couldn't remember anything. Okay, makes sense. There you go. Yeah, I believe her now.
That maybe Melissa expected and needed Matthew to be a part of her videos, which he did take part in for a while, but that it was draining and uncomfortable for him. There was a chance that he had decided that he wasn't going to do it anymore, and she couldn't force him to.
Look at this. Okay, actually, the Duke City crew. Great comment. Wow. You've been on over 5,000 crime scenes? Okay, what do you do? This is one of AJOT's people, I know it. Okay, I've been on over 5,000 crime scenes. That is insane. That is insane. Okay, and these people come from all walks of life. There are some sick and twisted criminal mind thinking people out there in our communities. We're looking at it. We are looking at it. 5,000 crime scenes. So what, yeah, look at their eyes. Cray cray. Exactly, 999. Exactly. Exactly. Okay? I mean, I literally just cannot. What? Okay, AJOT is saying, just a guy. Oh, hi. Howdy to you too, just a guy. Welcome on in. Thank you for coming by. What? How does this, I mean, AJOT, the Duke City crew, okay. How do these people actually think that they can get away with these crimes? Or are they literally just that mentally ill? I mean, the lies. I mean, how could you actually fathom that someone would believe this? Smartwatch or not, okay? Audio from a camera across the, your neighbor's camera or not. This is insanity.
Then on a night when they were both drunk, she snapped and possibly went further than she ever expected she would. Of course, it's all speculation and we don't know what truly happened that night. We can only theorize from the evidence at hand. And among that evidence is that video of the inside of their home that night. At 3:42 a.m., Matthew is walking around calmly away from Melissa, while Melissa follows him, clearly upset and frustrated.
This is 3:42 a.m. Now, 4:01 a.m., here she is, right? She said she was asleep. Look, this is 3:42 a.m. So you're sleeping already? I mean, okay, you laid down, you're sleeping. Okay. And people, did she forget? Okay. Venom, welcome into the chat. Welcome. Okay. I've been on 5,000 YouTube videos. Does that count for anything? Yes, it does, because this is 5,001. Thank you for coming in. Okay. I mean, look at this. It's 3:42 a.m., right? Does she look like she's going to bed anytime soon? Does she look like she'd be cold out, knocked out, asleep at 4 a.m.? I mean, really? 18 minutes later? I'm going to go with no. And here he is walking by. So what is actually going on here?
At 4:01 a.m., Melissa is running from the kitchen looking very stressed, but it didn't look like she was under attack. Then, moments later at 4:08...
Remember, his smartwatch stopped detecting his heartbeat at around 4 a.m.
8 a.m., she stumbles back into the room where she looks exhausted, and as if she's talking to the air, contemplating her next move, again, showing no signs of fear. In fact, at this time, you can see the blood coming from the gash on her hand. At this moment, it would make perfect sense for someone to pick up the phone and call the police, either because...
Yeah, 999, look at her posture. Yeah, she looks like she was ready to fight. Yeah, look at the way... Does she look like somebody that is running from an abusive fiance that's trying to kill you? Okay? I mean, really? Trying to kill you. Okay, trying to kill you here. Because this is self-defense, according to her. I'm going to go with no.
Under attack, as she claimed, and
you got blood all over your hands. Did you forget about the nanny cam you had set up in your house? This is lunatics. These women think they could do anything.
Just stabbed Matthew, and he needed help. After a quick deliberation with herself, we see her turn back to the room where her supposed attacker was. I feel that this clearly shows that she was not in any fear of Matthew. We do know from the audio that arguing goes well past 4:30 to almost 5 o'clock in the morning, where Melissa and Matthew have a loud argument next to an open window in the kitchen. Melissa says that after their confrontation, she walks into her office, sits on her chair, and blacks out.
You walked into your office, you sat on your chair, and you blacked out? We saw Matthew walking in front of you, you're following him, you come back, you're going like this, and now you blacked out in your chair in your office, you got blood all over your hands. I mean, this is all on your camera, you idiot.
And with the amount of blood found throughout their home, it makes sense that Matthew had been bleeding out from the time that she stabbed him until at least the time that she had decided to go to sleep.
Generally Specific was in the chat. I missed you earlier. Hello? Have a good evening. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Ajot says she didn't go to sleep. She went to plan his murder. Yeah, exactly. She went to go think about what she was going to say. I mean, really?
So she saw and she knew that Matthew was losing blood and that he was dying. Somehow, Matthew made it out to the pool patio through that same open window that they were arguing next to, where he succumbed to his injuries. The next thing we see in the video is Melissa waking up and walking through the house at 8:35 a.m. and then the phone call to 911 at
8:35 a.m. 8:35 a.m. The girl has blood all over her hands at 4:02 or whatever it was. It's 8:35 a.m. 8:35 a.m. You killed a man. You deserve to go to prison for the rest of your life. She won't, though.
8:45 a.m. Was she extremely drunk and she snapped and decided to act on her anger?
Okay, guys. Venom, he says, I understand girls now. If I was in a forest and I had to choose between bumping into her or bear, I'm choosing the bear. Yeah, me too. Your chances are better. And you know what? You might as well go out with some dignity. I mean, this is absolutely insane. This woman is nuts. Nuts. She literally actually waited until, 8-something in the morning to call 911? I mean, seriously?
Where she stabbed Matthew and purposefully left him to die? Possibly. And that's homicide. Or was she extremely drunk and stabbed Matthew without intent to kill him, not realizing how bad his wounds were, then went into her office and blacked out, waking up to find Matthew dead? Possibly. And that's homicide. She was meant to go to trial in February of 2022, but there was a delay. She would talk big talk behind bars about all the money she had as a cam girl. They found recorded phone calls of her bragging about how much money she had in the bank from her business, and it
What? Hold on.
Frustrated taxpayers and prosecutors because they felt that she shouldn't be using taxpayers' money for a public attorney and that she should be using her own money to pay for her private attorney.
Wow, this girl is crazy. She's in jail bragging about the money she made as a cam girl and how the taxpayers are upset because she should be using her own money for her lawyer. She needs a straitjacket, okay? Because the other people in jail with her, their lives are at risk. The warden's life is at risk.
All in all, it wasn't a good look for her, and she wasn't winning anyone over. She was offered a plea deal of 25 years, which she declined, and countered the 25 years with 5 years in prison. No agreement was made, and Melissa chose to go to trial.
Wow. Okay. This is you're gonna see her. We're gonna see her talking. We're going to get a real first-hand glimpse on who this woman is. All right? And let me just say this. This is a result of us acquiescing to women. Women, everything women says is the truth. Okay? Believe all women. This is where we're at in society. This is extremely dangerous. Okay? Believe all women. and our socially, right? Where have we gotten here? Men are accepting anything. Date a prostitute, marry a prostitute, okay? Accept whores, promiscuous women. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. How is it that we got to the point where this is okay? This is what he did, and look where he ended up. Dead. Okay. Let's hear her speaking for herself, and let me know what you guys think.
I couldn't remember a lot. When I realized that he wasn't responding, I panicked.
When did you realize that Matthew was dead?
I think a part of me already knew.
October 18th, 2019, we got the call that we had to respond here. Matthew Trusler was found in the patio pool area of this residence.
And what kind of shape was Melissa at that time?
I remember seeing her pretty well covered in blood.
Cliff, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Everyone, Drew, put his, can you put his page, his channel in the chat? Cliff Williams, another great auditor. We've got so many auditors here tonight. Brandon, there's so many of you here. Obviously, Ajot, her friends, the Duke City crew. Tyrants is here somewhere. All right, put all their links up for me. Okay, let's see where this goes. You like her? You like her so far? So this is a detective out here. Just this girl's nuts.
Blood.
So on that night, what happens?
Matt had gotten upset. He had gotten his knife out, I remember. And he would act more like he was possessed. He would say things to me like, Matt's not here anymore, I'm the demon.
That sounds like something she wrote in one of her scripts. Matt's not here anymore, I'm the demon. Yeah, I don't believe it.
There were times where he would try and use it on himself.
I was the prosecutor who went to the crime scene that day. I thought it was bizarre. There was the insinuation that he had done this to himself, and he had a stab wound in the back. He couldn't have done that to himself, right?
He fell on his back. I tried giving him CPR. I tried.
I just thought that there was a lot of acting happening, where she's dialing 911 and make herself cry.
I don't know what happened.
She doesn't know what happened. He's got a stab wound in the back. She doesn't know what happened. Okay. I mean, the prosecutor's on to her.
Cosplay model is basically where you dress up as like your favorite characters.
Her content was sexual based.
She had websites.
See, that's her ex-boyfriend. Her content was sexual based, okay? Yeah, you're not a cosplay model, okay? No, that's people in Disney World, working in Disney, dressed up like Snow White and all that stuff. Yeah, they're models and they're actors and they're running around doing a real job getting paid. You are doing corn, okay? You are doing corn. That's what you're doing. You're playing out a fantasy for a client that's paying you to perform sex acts on camera. That's what that is.
Sexual based.
She had websites. She had an OnlyFans page.
There's the OnlyFans page. Oh, can't get, of course. There it is, $9.99 a month. Oh, she's giving you a discount. Okay, guys.
OnlyFans page.
The murder comes at no cost.
We were very shocked to find this kind of secretive life that we didn't know about.
Who do you believe killed Matthew Trusler?
Melissa Turner.
I didn't do what they're saying. I did. If I'm going to prison, then I'm going down fighting. I'm going down telling my side of the story.
Trusler County.
That is just not believable. Not believable.
Trusler County Fire Rescue. What's the office of the emergency? Tell me what's wrong. He is non-responsive.
2 years later, Melissa still struggles to talk about the day Matthew died. Melissa Turner can vividly describe the moment as medics tried to revive her fiancé, Matthew Trusler.
I watched the EMTs unfold the sheet and lay the white sheet over him. And it was when that happened that I couldn't hold and the tears and everything.
It was around 8:30 a.m. when Melissa says she found Matthew unresponsive on the back patio of the house they shared in a suburb of Tampa, Florida.
I tried to see if he was breathing.
999, you guys are funny. Corn, Tyrants Beware, thank you for putting Cliff's link up in the chat. Yes, Ajot, this is so fake, okay? Yeah. Every penny counts because they're talking about Venom, $9.99, it's a deal. Yeah. Can you imagine? He got some deal, right?
And I tried to start CPR.
Just a couple hours later, still covered in blood, Melissa agreed to talk to investigators at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. She says she wanted to help them figure out what had happened to Matthew.
She wanted to help them figure out what happened to Matthew. Is that the phrase of the hour or what?
Just saying yes and complying with whatever was kind of said or told to me.
Melissa told the detectives the couple's day had started off just like any other. They took care of their pets, did house chores, as seen in these previously posted Facebook videos. She admitted they were also drinking alcohol throughout the day, leading into the evening.
I mean, that's what we did. We were there at the house ourselves. We had drinks. He always liked drinking. He was a drinker.
What she saw when she woke up.
He always liked drinking. He was a drinker. So this is going to be her excuse. This is part of her excuse.
Next morning, Melissa told investigators didn't make sense.
I didn't see him outside at first. I went upstairs and I checked the bedroom. Down good.
She says that's when she discovered Matthew outside on the patio and began CPR. As detectives worked to get to the bottom of what happened, Matthew's family was learning Matthew had died. His brother Sean got the call from their mother.
How sad. How incredibly sad. That's his brother. How sad. How sad.
I got a call that he died in an accident. That's what they told me.
Sean called his fiancée, Jennifer, immediately.
He's sobbing so hard and just screaming at the top of his lungs. He's gone. My brother, Maddie's gone. He's dead. I'm getting chills just talking about this.
He was a really good kid. He worked so hard. He had the biggest heart. He loved everybody and everything.
2 years after his move, Melissa then...
Now, this is his brother and his brother's fiance talking, right? Now, there's definitely more than what they're saying here, because he did get involved with this woman and participate in her films, okay? Something's definitely off there to me. I understand that they are, sad. Obviously, no one deserves to die, okay? But why would you get involved with this woman's corn films? Now, Venom KP says, to be fair, this is why you don't talk to cops. She should have had an attorney. But see, and this is very important, okay? Yes, she should have had an attorney, but you know what? The whole point of this is that she believed that she could get away with it. That's the point. She didn't ask for an attorney because she has been... Everybody's yesed her to death. You understand? She went from here to here. She didn't think she needed an attorney. She thinks that she's such a mastermind that she could actually get away with this. This is the thing. You're what you are when you're young. You're overweight. You're this and that. Then you gain this confidence. You're on TV, and she got to be a narcissist. Her head got way too big for her britches, as my granddaddy would say.
Years after his move, Melissa, then 24, met Matthew, 23, on an online dating app.
We met on Tinder, and I just liked how different...
Okay, first of all, Tinder, all right. Everybody meets on dating apps, right? But Tinder is a hookup app. This is the thing. Tinder's a hookup app. You meet people on Tinder to hook up and have sex, okay? This is his problem right here. You don't meet people on Tinder to find somebody nice, okay? There are plenty of other apps for that, okay? Okay, Tinder is for sex. Now we're getting somewhere with him. You met her on Tinder. Then you moved it. You bought a house with her? Come on.
Matt treated me. He made me feel more important. He drew me in.
In 2019, the couple took a big step and bought a house together.
We were excited about the house. We were picking out, paint colors for walls and furniture.
But Melissa says a few months into their new lives, their relationship became strained.
Matt's drinking was...
Yeah, strained because you were more concerned about your art, doing corn films, and dragging him in it. That's what that's about. Yeah, picking out paint colors for what? For your studio room? For when you're, a demonic nun and whatever else you're doing? That's what you're picking paint colors out for. Come on.
Getting worse. It was just becoming really excessive.
Melissa had been adamant that there were no arguments between the couple that night.
We were having a great time.
Was there anything physical, violent?
He was never violent. He was always amazing.
But Melissa didn't know that the detectives had been tipped off by the responding officer that Melissa had told him there had been an argument at the house the night before.
What were you and Matthew arguing about last night?
I don't really remember. I mean, we might have gotten in an argument, but it didn't seem like anything. We're like screaming at each other that I know of.
Hey, Jot, okay? Yeah, exactly. You thought you could get away with it. I mean, look, who can sit in front of cops like this and just make up lie after lie? Just whatever goes. Just say whatever. Doesn't matter, right? Okay? Nuts. Me and my wife met at work. Exactly. Okay? It's like, in Tinder, okay, wait. 999 says, I used Tinder once and vowed never to use it again. It ruined my life indirectly. I feel for you. It's like, fine, apps, they're not, it's not like a terrible way to meet people. In the world we live in today, that's how people meet. But I mean, Tinder is a hookup app. You have to be careful. It's like, is there any responsibility for our choices at some point? I mean, you met somebody on Tinder and they turned out to be nice, fine, okay? But she's a corn star. And you're getting in the films with her and buying a house with the woman. I mean, come on.
You told us that you guys were there, there's only two of you, the two of you were drinking. My problem is I got Matthew on the back porch with stab wounds.
Stab wounds?
Stab wounds. Oh, you didn't know stab wounds. Now she's acting like she didn't know there were stab wounds. I mean, this gets better and better as it goes. It's unbelievable.
Meanwhile, another detective, Ryan Lagasse, was knocking on doors and canvassing the neighborhood for clues.
As I walked over here, you've got the camera located directly above the residence across the street here.
Tell me about what happened around 4 o'clock this morning.
4 o'clock? What happened at 4 o'clock?
Yeah, she's got some big britches, Brandon. She's sitting here saying, what happened at 4 o'clock? Lady, there are cameras in your home. At 3:42, you were chasing him, and then at 4:02, you're going like this, and then you got blood all over your hands. I mean, this woman is literally insane. Wait till you see what happens at the trial. It's coming. We're almost through this.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
I don't know either. Why?
Was there any arguing?
At 4 o'clock? Not that I know of. I believe I was asleep.
I believe I was asleep. She forgot about those cameras inside.
I have no memory of any argument at 4 in the morning.
But after detectives confronted her with the evidence, Melissa's story changed.
I have some video surveillance, actually yelling and screaming between a male and a female, coming from your house.
What we need from you that would probably make a lot more sense is to tell us what that argument was about.
I would say he woke me up and we got in an argument over that because he was still up at 4 in the morning drinking.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, you do have a memory of what happened, right?
Yes.
At 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Why were you yelling at him, bitch, get up, bitch, get up? You got a slice on your hand.
Are you looking at this? She's got a slice on her hand. Bitch, get up. bitch get up. Well, yeah, I'm trying to get through it.